Good morning, crypto Twitter, it's Misty Crypto, spreading crypto with doctors showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Gen Z needs to be included, it's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, zesty, making money at the same time, spread peace. I feel empty if you don't include Gen Z, about to change the world, so y'all better get ready. Misty Crypto, I'm never backing down, I got a wax account, you should check it out. So many NFTs, I think I lost count, and I'm only getting started, yeah, I'm barely off the ground. Misty Crypto, you cannot stop me, my hands are made from diamonds, your hands fall like origami. Never be the boss of me, Bitcoin's all I need, when I say I'm zesty, that's just me, talking honestly. Crypto and yum bomb marketplace, I wanna see the more, we gotta go through cyberspace, leave this world without a trace, say pay for a different day, cause we partners in the cryptos didn't stay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day today. I'm really feeling a little like the zest is here, but I need to feel more zest. So if you guys are here, you guys are in the chat, smash those hundreds. Let me see that you're here. Let me see that you're vibing. It's so nice to see everyone coming into the chat right now. And before, as always, we jump in to the stream, I want to say a thank you to two amazing sponsors of the Miss Teen Crypto Show. First being Wax Blockchain, continuously making innovation. Wax Blockchain is killing the game. If you guys want to learn more about Wax Blockchain, here's the link in the live chat. Will also be in the description of the video if you want to check it out after the show. Wax, man, 23 million plus daily transactions. That's a lot of transactions. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of moving around. And, speaking of Wax and, buying NFTs, selling NFTs, if you're a creator or if you're just, a collector of NFTs, check out niftyblocks.com, the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I have been using Nifty Blocks for so long now, and if you're a buyer or even, a collector, whatever, you can actually earn Nifty token for buying and selling NFTs on the Nifty marketplace. If you guys haven't seen yet, Ajay Tunes and Ajay is a Wax official artist, and he is also a teenager. I believe he's 18 or 19 years old. We have been, in this crypto journey for a long time. We have a new collab out right now, only 50 of each, so there's 100 NFTs total. That link is in the live chat. So if you own both of these, then in a week from now, you will receive a spicy airdrop. So it's like a buy two, get one free type of thing, So check out Spidey Teen NFTs. I'm super excited for this collab. I've been waiting for this for a while. And if you want a free NFT, then this is the place. There are NFTs being given out throughout the entire stream. If you guys check out the bottom right corner of your screen, you will see a QR code. If you are the first to scan that QR code or click this link in the live chat, you will win a free NFT. And who doesn't love free NFTs? I know I love free things. I love free NFTs. I see in the live chat now that we have 9 likes. If we could get to 15, I will drop another spicy NFT. But now, let's jump into today's guest, Miggy. Hi, Miggy. How are you?
What's up, Miss Teen? I'm doing great. How are you?
Chilling, man. I'm really excited to have you on the show. We've been friends for such a long time now. I mean, I feel like we've been friends for almost 2 years. I mean, in crypto, that's 15 years. So, we're vibing, we're hanging out, and I love what you've been doing. Ever since you, came into the space, since we first met and everything like that, you've been pushing, absolutely grinding in this space. So, I just, would love if you could, say hey and maybe introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, thanks. No, I appreciate it. You've always been cool to watch. I remember before we actually met in person at the Miami Crypto Experience, I was seeing all the stuff you were doing and Ken, and getting to see you, Blockchain Wayne, in the lobby. Y'all were some of the first people I actually ran into. So it was super dope. But I'm Miguel. I go by Miggy Crypto. I've been in the blockchain space for about a decade now. Started in 2012, doing the usual stuff, just buying, selling, trading Bitcoin. Looking for every accessible platform that had Bitcoin on it, and just finding every way to connect to people who are interested. So I didn't really do a lot over 10 years besides just kind of learn and engage into these sites. You know, I went on every single platform that had Bitcoin on it, every single exchange, every fountain. I mean, you name it. In the first 5 years, like I visited it legit. I mean, I spent so much time just searching the internet for anything that had Bitcoin on it, selling it every way possible. I sold it peer-to-peer. I sold it through an escrow service. I sold it on eBay. I sold it in person. Like every way that I could get my hands on it and get it to other people, I did. Started little groups, you know, little chat groups. Yeah, it was crazy. I remember at one point I was having people deposit money in my bank account, and through his escrow service, having Bitcoin released to them. Money was deposited, like getting cash in my bank and then selling them Bitcoin. And this time the markups were ridiculous. I mean, we were marking up for coin like 30%, and people were so willing to buy it. But I got to meet a lot of cool people, make a lot of friends, you know, with those who were interested in learning. So I spent years, you know, developing like little communities, small chat groups, up until, you know, recently I got involved with NFTs. Went to my first event last April, and just kind of hit it pretty hard. Like you said, met Ken Bozak, and just kind of dug myself into the bro community. And then, you know, fast forward today, I'm here in Utah, helping out NFT the movie, do some stuff, and it's been a pretty cool journey. And it's definitely been great to be friends with you, because it's been nice to learn, to see what you've been doing, and you've been killing it too. You've been crushing it.
Aw, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Like, it's been great having you around as well. Like, you know, we've been friends for quite a while, and even when I first met you, you were like so ambitious and ready to get into the space and just like make your mark, which is so respectable. I see in the chat we have 16 likes so far. Like, that was really quick, guys. So I'm gonna drop my second NFT. Let's get into it. Okay, let's see. All right, get ready to scan, everyone. Get ready to scan. Are we glitching on YouTube?
Awesome.
Everyone says we're lagging. Is that true?
It might be. Let me see. It looks like it's lagged a little bit.
Oh no.
Let me see.
Are we good, guys? Tell me if we're
Possibly. Good. Oh, there it goes. I think it's back up.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. Tell me if we're okay. Okay. So, all right.
I think it's like a little.
All right. Yeah. Someone said it's spinning for them. Oh no. This is no bueno. This is no bueno. Uh-oh. Yeah.
It's too much hype.
Too much hype.
It's too much zest.
Indeed. Honestly, the zest is overpowering the stream. I hope we're all right. I guess like we'll just keep going, because I don't see anyone telling me anything in the chat. So I guess we're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So your next NFT is coming through, my friends. Okay. Lagging my.
Oh, I think it is still lagging. I'm on pause because too much zest.
Oh my gosh,
zest
guys!
Crash.
No. I hope we don't get taken down right now.
Yeah.
Someone tell me if we're all right.
Crashed it.
If someone has my number or my Telegram, please tell me if we're okay.
Like, I'm getting some comments in, but it's still spinning.
Oh no. I'm trying to figure this out. Guys, I'm sorry. Like, my internet is terrible. Oh no. Let me see on Twitter if we're good on Twitter.
Sorry, puppy.
Oh no. This is horrible. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying my best. I'm gonna see on my phone if we're all right.
I'm trying to. I mean, it's playing. Okay, it looks like it's coming back on. The internet can't take this much zest. It looks like it's coming back. Yeah. It looks.
Good morning, crypto Twitter is missing crypto, spreading crypto, adopting, showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Gen Z needs to be included.
Hey
Your
guys,
dad's
I
awesome.
think we're back. I think this is the same link as before. I had to restart the stream. I don't know what happened, but yeah. So we are back. I'm a little off right now. So let's drop another NFT. Let's see if this works. This is craziness. What's going on? My computer was working fine just before the stream, but it's okay. We're all good. Miggy, so like before crypto, like what were you up to? Like what were your like goals and aspirations?
Man, before crypto, so I was 23, 24 when I first started getting involved. So before that, honestly, wasn't really up to much. I was just working bartender, serving job, and just kind of getting caught up in being a young adult. Just going out partying. I had a daughter like 2 years before that,
Wow.
so I was just kind of going through the motions of going to work, going out partying, coming home, being with my daughter and her mom. And what my goal was then was to get back into school. I started going to community college. Was trying to get my electrical engineering degree. Funny enough, like I wanted to do electrical engineering and mechanical engineering.
Wow.
So I did some of that. Yeah, and the goal was to get through school. Be a bartender, server, and get an engineering degree. I was hoping that by the time I was 30, I would have the degree and then a good job and, working on another degree. But then, yeah, like I said, I kind of got caught up in just being young, being a young person, especially after I graduated. I went to school out in Texas, in Dallas, played football, ran track, wrestled through junior high and high school. The first school that I was actually supposed to go to after I graduated was OU. The only school I applied for. I had gotten like a partial scholarship because I won some award. Do you know about the PSATs and stuff, and the SATs and the National Honor Award? So they had a version of that for Hispanics. So I had scored in like the top 10% or top 5%
Wow.
of all the Hispanics in the country, and I ended up getting a National Honors Award, but for a Hispanic category. Yeah, it was just crazy. When I was 18, or my junior year. So when I went to school, or when I went to apply for college, I only applied for Oklahoma. And I got accepted. I just ended up not being able to get enough money because I didn't know the process of getting a loan, doing all this stuff. And my dad at the time was a little reluctant to send me out of state. So I ended up not going to school. Just kind of hung out for that summer, did what most 18-year-olds do as soon as they graduate, just have fun.
Exactly.
I ended up enlisting in the military
Wow.
because I didn't go to college. Yeah. I enlisted in the Marine Corps when I was like 19. It was
Wow.
it was crazy because we were still like in the time period of like we were at war. After all the 9/11 stuff happened, so there was still going on in the Middle East, and so I joined the Marine Corps right before my birthday, and it was kind of like a weird last minute thing. I had been talking to a recruiter, all summer, and then I'd just been mentioning it. Like I had just gotten out of high school, so like being athletic, being in sports, being yelled at, all these things like were just fresh. Like I was so used to that. So I was like, you know what, going to the military is just like a much harder boot camp or football camp, except more things happening in my life's online.
Yeah.
So I did it. And
Your
I had a
life is-
recruiter yes, but
You're
I
so
had a
funny,
recruiter call
man.
me out of nowhere. Like that's the only difference. That like you might die out there. Like
Yeah.
I guess you could die on a football field, but it was funny because like I didn't really have a plan to do it, and then like all of a sudden I got this call, and it was my recruiter, and he told me that some kid had broken his leg, and they were getting ready to
no.
ship out in like a week. And so they have quotas they have to beat. And he was like, hey, I'm short one person for my quota. So he broke his leg. He can't get shipped out. I know we've been talking about it. And so without really thinking much, I was just like, sure, let's go. And he was like, you leave in a week. So I had time, like a little bit of time to prepare, like right before my birthday. It was kind of impromptu, it's just like the opportunity was there. I had been talking about it. I didn't really have anything else going on, like with my life. Wasn't going to college and didn't want to get, kind of stuck in not doing anything. So the military was my opportunity again to get back into school. to have them pay for it and to get paid, you know, to do these things, travel the world, all this stuff. So I ended up enlisting, told my family. They're devastated because nobody knew, you know, until like, hey, guess what? I'm going to boot camp and I'm joining the Marine Corps and I leave next week.
What?
It was crazy. Yeah, my dad was pretty cool. I have a lot of military in my family, Air Force and Marine Corps and Army in Arizona and here. So my mom was devastated for sure. My dad, you know, he was my dad. You know, he encouraged it. He wasn't too happy about it, but you know, he wasn't exactly against it. So spent like the last week spending time with my family. Spent time, you know, with the girls dating at the time, which was one of my sister's friends. My sister was devastated because her and I are super close. You know, we still are really good friends, but she was super devastated that I left, and spent time with them. Celebrated my birthday early because I was getting ready to leave, and then got shipped out. Left in like a week. He picked me up that night after the phone call to sign paperwork because everything had to be rushed. Because normally it's like a process, you know, a time process, and you go through like. They'll train you up, like basically get you in shape, all these things before they ship you out. So like I had to do all this stuff within a week, you know, at least all the legal stuff, the documentation, the swearing in, the process of all that stuff. So I had to do that like as soon as I could. And he picked me up that night. I signed papers. And then after the next couple of days, I went and swore in, did all these things. Basically told me to show up on the day that we left with nothing but my clothes on. That's it. Just don't bring anything. Just bring whatever you're wearing. And ID, you know, like that was all I took. I had nothing, left everything at home. Just showed up in a shirt and some pants and shoes, you know, and it was crazy. And that was it. I left. I didn't really think much of it because like I had been, you know, wanting to do it. I definitely considered the danger factor. But like I said, my family had been in the military, and so it was definitely something that I was prepared for, at least mentally. Yeah. Like I knew it was going to be life-changing, and that no matter what, at that point, I no longer owned any rights to myself because you literally swear in. And once you do, like the military owns you. And so I went to boot camp in San Diego. They have 2 Marine Corps boot camps, one in North Carolina and one in San Diego. The one in San Diego is the one I got shipped to because I was in Texas. So I went to San Diego. I remember as soon as I flew in, and it was crazy because they fly you in, then they put you on a bus. You got to put your head down, and like, so you can't, the bus is blacked out. You got to close your eyes, all this crazy stuff. You end up showing up at base camp. The minute you get there is when it starts. Like as soon as those bus doors open, it starts. You have all these military sergeants running in the bus, screaming and yelling and grabbing you and just like throwing you around, doing all these things. And like, so we had to start the process of the 3-day registration period, which is something that it literally takes 3 days and you barely get any sleep. Like we didn't sleep for almost all of those 3 days, which is part of the training process. They basically start to break you down at that point. So nuts. So I fly in, get in, do all this stuff. I have to give up my clothes. They give me new clothes. They give us our bed stuff, our things, our toiletries, all this stuff. We basically give up our lives. How to have my head shaved, all these crazy things. Then we get our bunkers, and like I said, 2 or 3 days we're going through lines, going through processes, getting training materials, getting gear. But I remember standing up and falling asleep, at the line and stuff. But it was crazy, and as far as the physical aspect of it and the mental distress, like I said, it was kind of up my alley, I was pretty used to it. My dad, wasn't really, it was, I guess most parents at the time, he wasn't hard on me to be hard on me, but he was tough, I got spanked when I was a kid. I had to deal with a lot, as growing up as a child with a parent who came in from Mexico and had a alcoholic father. So he was cool, but he was tough. So between that and football, having people yell at me and tell me what to do, didn't bother me. But I kind of got lucky. I was there for 2 months. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was really hard, I was alone, in a place I'd never been and not knowing what was going to happen, having people yell at me all the time, which is fine. But I ended up hurting my back 2 months in. Which was funny because I got in trouble. So everything we do there, is all part of a process and training. And one thing that you always do was like after you leave the barracks, you get to the barracks, breakfast, lunch, dinner. We had to do sit-ups, push-ups, and pull-ups, like this little workout routine constantly. And after one of the chow times, so let me start back a little.
Yeah.
So like we were always working out all the time, always super active. And because of that, like we were all starving. Yeah. So like we had 3 full square meals a day, like really good food. But the problem was we were always working. So like I was so hungry like all the time. So one day I decided to take these little packets of peanut butter. They were like ketchup sized packets. And I was going to sneak them out, take them to the barracks, and eat them later. Which you're not allowed to take anything out of the chow hall. And so I snuck out these little peanut butter ketchup-sized packets in my pocket. So after chow hall, we get out, we do these workouts, right? I get back in line, and then all of a sudden, I hear the drill instructor scream, like, "What the F is this?" And I look back, and he's holding up something in his hand. And it was one of those peanut butter packets. So I was so scared.
You got caught, man.
I didn't say a thing. Well, I didn't get caught then because I didn't say a word because they were like, "Whose is this?" And I just kept my mouth shut, which was terrible because our whole platoon got punished. All of us, like we got punished.
No.
Like for example, one of the punishments they would do would make you chug water till you throw up.
What?
Crazy.
What?
Yeah.
I'd be horrified, man. I'd be absolutely horrified.
So that was like. So I got all of us, and so there's another thing they do. The area in front of the barracks is called the quarter deck.
Yeah.
And so when they would punish you, they would bring you to the quarter deck and basically make you do like all these aerobic routines. Let's say, you do up downs, you do push-ups, you do whatever they want as fast as they want, forever long they want. They basically would do that to kind of wear you out, break you down, and embarrass you. So we all had to do that. We all got super, embarrassed. We had to walk around the other barracks, because we're telling everybody what happened, and then we were getting punished as a whole group. Well, somebody had saw that it came from me, and they knew that it was from me. So like they were so pissed off, and I was so sad. Like God. I felt so bad because I was so scared. I was like 19, and I was like so scared.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't. But I eventually fessed up.
Yeah, you fessed up.
I told them, I was like, hey, you know what? Like, okay. And because these guys are mad, they're like, hey, if you don't tell them, we're going to tell them. So I was like, all right, you know what? I did it.
They were going to rat you out?
I got punished. Yeah, because the whole platoon was getting punished. It really wasn't fair. Like
it wasn't, but
punished.
They were going to rat you out.
No, we had, it was crazy. So once they found out that I did it, man, they like reamed me. Hardcore.
My gosh, no.
This is the first point in it was insane. Like they had other drill instructors come from other platoons to yell at me and work me out on the quarter deck.
Are you serious?
Yeah, not just my drill instructors. They had almost all the other ones. They were just coming through, like a rotation, just coming to punish me.
I can't believe that.
It was crazy. And there was a point, like that was the only point in time that I had been there where I really was almost a breaking point. Like I almost broke, like it was almost hard where I was about to just stop and just cry and just be like, no, this sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But luckily I did because there were people doing that all the time. Like there were people left and right, all around. Like they wouldn't really understand what they were getting themselves into. So once they got there and really got a taste of what was happening, they were freaked out and they're like, oh crap! Like what did I just sign up for? It's like, well, you just gave up your life for one, and for two, this is going to be the hardest experience you've ever had. And so some people were just like breaking down, I can't even describe it because how mentally distressing and physically distressing was for some people. And some people would end up going kind of psychotic where they would try to kill themselves, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Wow.
So that was the only point in time where I almost kind of completely broke down because I was getting punished by everybody. I had already been punished as a group. Then I was getting punished individually. And I want to say I was lucky because during that punishment, I ended up re-injuring myself from an injury that I got as a junior playing football. I pulled a disc out of place in my lower back, and I told my recruiter about it, but he told me not to say anything. He's like, if you're fine and your x-rays are good, then don't tell them about it. And so I didn't. But when I was getting quarter-decked, I ended up hurting that again because they were wearing me out. And I was so lucky that I made it through all that punishment without breaking down. I got so close to crying and just shutting down. But I held through and I made it, and then it stopped. And I I got through it without. But then the next day, like, I couldn't even get out of my bed, you know, because my back was all jacked up again. So to make that part a longer story short, I ended up telling them because they didn't know what was happening to me. And I told them that, like, I think it's the same injury I did in high school. And so they're like, well, your records don't show anything. So I told them what happened. I was like, well, my recruiter told me not to say anything, but this was a prior injury I got as a civilian. So they went and found my civilian medical records, and they saw, like, okay, you had this injury, you went to the doctor, all this stuff, you know, it was all information. Yeah. So because of that, I got sent home because I lied. I didn't tell them about this injury. Yeah. And that got me out. They kicked me out, basically. I got discharged, medical separation, which is crazy because being there, like I said, what I found out was that once you sign those papers and you swear in, like, they own you. You can't leave, and they won't let you go. Like, there were people there who had, let's say, like, the first day, this guy broke his leg, his femur. So he broke his femur day one, had to go to the medical barracks to heal. So he was there, when I met him, he was there for like already 2 or 3 months. And whenever he's healed, he was gonna have to start back on day one when he started. So, like, if you get hurt, you're still there. If like, basically, like, even if you like go crazy and you try to kill yourself, like, that's probably like the only thing that'll get you out. But like, up to that point, nothing, no injury, nothing that you do, unless it's like a severe spinal injury or something, like, you never leave. They won't let you go. So the fact that I got kicked out, yeah, and I got so lucky because it was the Marine Corps, and again, we were at a time of war, technically. So we were the first ones getting shipped out. So, like, had I graduated boot camp, I would have gone to Iraq, 100%, like, guaranteed, no maybes. And I was originally going to go in reserve, but I was going in, like, even as a reservist, we knew, like, hey, we're going in because they were sending in every Marine, like, they were reserves or not. So that was going to be I was going to face. But I got out because I lied, and they kicked me out. I got sent home 2 months into it.
Miggy, like,
it was crazy.
My heart is actually, like, racing. Like, I feel like I don't know about you guys in the chat. Please.
Oh, I hear you now. It didn't switch?
Okay, yeah. I don't know what keeps happening. Oh, come on. I think we're good now. Yeah, I think we're good now. I don't really know what happened to my mic, but yeah, I can't imagine going through all of that. Like, yeah, Miggy,
it's crazy.
You've gone through so much. I have, like, a huge respect for you. Like, I really, like, I've known you for such a while now, and I didn't even know. I didn't even know all of that.
I mean, there's not a lot of people that do. After high school, you know, I kind of separated from, like, all my friends, and just especially after going to boot camp, I, like, disconnected from everybody, besides my family.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really have any old friends that I stayed connected with. Like, that kind of pushed things away because I spent so much time away. And then I had my daughter a couple years later and moved to Ohio. I moved there by her first birthday. So, like, I think less than a year. No, it was like 2 years after boot camp. I moved to Ohio, and then I lived there for a while with my daughter and her mom. But some stuff happened. You know, again, it was just kind of young in my life, making a lot of decisions that weren't really the best for me.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to move Ohio and go back to Texas in 2015. And during that process, when I had started getting into Bitcoin and all these things,
exactly.
And, like, the crazy thing about that, like, when I got into Bitcoin, it was after, like, one of the hardest times of my life, because I was in Ohio. I was making a lot of, like, bad choices, not hurting people directly or intentionally, but I was hurting a lot of people around me. You know, friends, family, we're all being affected by my choices. And it was terrible. You know, it got to the point where, like I said, like, I even had to leave where my daughter was because, like, things were going so out of control for me. And the process that I went through of kind of changing that, I started doing yoga.
Yeah.
I actually became, like, a vegetarian and ate a mostly vegan diet for, like, a little over a year.
Wow.
I went through this whole change because, like, things went really bad with me and my daughter's mom, and ended up getting arrested, all these terrible things, you know, got into drugs, like, just all this bad stuff. and just even mentally, like I was really struggling because I was very lost. So when I got into the yoga, I got into vegetarian veganism, started running all the time. Started the first time I became an entrepreneur. Me and my friend ran a thrift store business on eBay. We would go to thrift stores and source clothes like Armani, Versace, Gucci, and like authenticate them and then resell them for like 100 times more. My first 100x, was with clothes, not before crypto. But it was cool, and that was my first taste, like I said, of actually being my own business or working in my own business. So during that period is when I got, like, Bitcoin came around, 2012, well, for me at least. And so during that process, like after I had kind of started changing my life, is when I started getting into Bitcoin. And that's where I really started to get plugged back into kind of trying to support the community, in any way I could by giving out information, creating the meetups, posting information. The first few years I tried so hard to get people involved, like, hey, you should learn about Bitcoin. Hey, you should buy Bitcoin, all this shit. And like, nobody cared, everybody thought I was crazy, at that time period, it was like banks were against you, government was against you, family and friends didn't understand. So that, I was a nut. And it's like the media, everything was working against me at that time. But, I started doing that, started developing little communities and reaching out to people because people who did care would come find me and they'd want to learn. And so after the first few years of trying that, I decided to just really focus on being a part of the community and participating. So it became less recruiting, less me trying to reach out to people to change their minds, and more of me just doing it, just living it, trying to live life on the blockchain. Like doing
living
what I had to do
on the blockchain. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
like that was
I very
my
much
goal.
like that.
That was my goal, like I wanted to live my life on the blockchain and nothing else. Like I wanted everything I did to be associated with the blockchain. And this was back then where there really wasn't a lot of outlets. There wasn't a lot of ways to do it, but I knew it was possible because of what was happening. And so, any way that I could, I tried doing that. Whatever it took that I could get Bitcoin, teach people about it, and then also use that money to pay my bills, like I did. And so that really started to change things because my focus was just me participating, me using it, me learning, and then teaching people who wanted to learn. And that's when people started to come to me. Because, I was doing it, like I was using, like it never made me rich, like I didn't go and buy a car with it. I didn't buy a house with it. Like 99% of my investments since I started, I've cashed out of. And for me, it was about the functionality. Like I would have loved to have Bitcoin and hold on to it, but I couldn't afford to. I had to live. So my focus was not holding, but earning, getting paid in Bitcoin.
That's
and
smart.
And selling Bitcoin to other people. Because holding it just didn't make sense to me. Like even now, like I mean, to a certain degree, like it's one thing to hold and secure some value, but it's another thing to spread it, to get other people to adopt it, to get people to use it, to understand it. So I did that, like again, 99% of everything I ever bought, I cashed out. And for most of those investments, I always came out on top because it was always there for me. Like when fiat failed me, when the banks weren't there for me, I couldn't get a loan, I couldn't get any help. I had crypto that, was up. I lost very little money because I was always careful. Like one thing, like I hate gambling and I don't. So I was always very careful about what I got involved with and always waited. But it supported me, like when I didn't have any access to money, no funds, no loans, there was always the opportunity that I could cash out of my crypto. And even then, from 2012 on, like that was my goal, was finding the best and easiest ways to buy it and to sell it because I needed to pay bills. And I did. I mean, I remember doing Dogecoin, XRP, all these coins that we see now that people are, going crazy about. Like I was even cashing out then to pay my bills, because it's just that functionality that like, hey, this is what is going to help me. And like I said, it was always there for me. Nobody else was. And at that time, there weren't a lot of people to teach either because I didn't really have a network. I didn't really connect with anybody because I had separated myself from my own community, from home and high school. And so I was kind of just on my own and just pulled people towards me. So everything that I learned by myself. Everything that I did by myself. Up until I started learning about NFTs. Then I had people like you, like Ken, like Stash, that I could learn from and really watch and pay attention to. But everything else up until that point, I did completely alone, which was cool because it gave me a lot of experience, like, because there's a lot of people in the space that, yeah, they may have bought Bitcoin in the beginning and held on to it. But I spent so much time like doing things with it for 9 years, like here and there, little by little, just trying to stay involved until, all this. So it was crazy because like I was transitioning in my life when I first started getting involved with Bitcoin, because I was doing a lot of things that I just didn't feel happy about because I knew it didn't align with the kind of person that I was. I never really wanted to live a life where people were getting hurt because of my decisions. And so that's what was happening. And so when I went through this transition, that's when I got into Bitcoin and communities, and like all these things were happening at the same time as I learned and did all this until now, 9 years later, I started getting into NFTs this last year, and things have greatly accelerated. So like a lot of people, like they've seen all this craziness, happen, and a lot of them don't realize that like it took 9 years to get here. I got my first paid project. The shitcoin was one of them, and they took us out to dinner and stuff. But my first like actual paid, where somebody paid me to do stuff, where I was on contract, started in November. So up until November, I'd never been paid. I'd always just did things on my own. It took 9 years for me to get paid.
Miggy, and you so deserve it. You've been on like such a grind, guys. Like I feel like I just lived Miggy's whole life, and like I absolutely love it. Miggy, you've had a great story. I want to pause for 1 second to shout out the chat.
Yeah.
They've worked very hard to get 26 likes, so I will drop another NFT. I'm so excited, guys. Get ready. Get the cameras ready.
Check your mic. You're sounding a little robot-y.
Am I? Guys, am I good?
Yeah.
In the chat. Let me know if my mic sounds good to them, at least.
It might be my headphones.
It could be. But yeah, guys, let me know in the chat about my mic. And also, so we're going to get zesty. Let's get those cameras ready. I'm going to drop it in the QR thing now. Okay, let's do it. QR code is being generated, and it is up. This is actually my shitcoin NFT from last year. So if you guys want to go claim that, it is available now. I want to say hello to the chat really quick. Randy Bitcoiner, JMac. Hi, JMac. Rising Dragons. He posed a nice question here. How about gently pressing the like instead of smashing it? See, guys, any form of pressing the like button is okay. So if you want to smash it because you're feeling the zest, smash the button like that. But don't break your phone. You know what I mean? Like, just enough to hit it. But you can gently, like, stroke it, like either way. Like, it works. It works. So, hi, Rising Dragons. I see we have Kagi Jan in here. So, the stream just got a little juicy. Yeah, it got a little juicy in here. Then we have Ken's Log. Hi, Ken's Log. Mo Knows. Hi, Mo Knows. How are you? Paul Carpenter. He said he relates to your story a lot. That's amazing. That we have some relatable stuff going on here. Fedcoin. How are you? Bullish Bradley. We have so many. Oh, Matt. Hi, Matt. How are you? There's so many great people in here. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Thank you for sticking through my technical difficulties before. I appreciate you guys sticking around. And I see we have 28 likes now. Keep pressing that like button, guys. If we hit 35, then I will drop another NFT. Oh, hi, Shaunika. I see you're here too. Shaunika's amazing. Sam is amazing. Much love. He's doing really cool things right now, so you better watch out for him. But yeah, so let's jump back in. So you got into Crazy Crypto Guy, don't want to miss you either. But yeah, so like there's a lot of stuff that you got into. You've gone through a lot mentally, physically. You've been grinding your entire life, which is very respectable. And I feel like, a lot of people, like, especially in the military, like that's a lot. Like you said, there's a lot of duress you go under, so also shout out to everybody that's in the military. Thank you for your service. Much respect, and you guys are like the hardest working people, and thank you for fighting for our country. Other than that, I got a little patriotic right there. But so now you're into crypto. You've been grinding at this for quite a bit. Do you want to talk about like some events you've been to? I know you've been traveling a lot. You're constantly in your car, constantly driving, which I respect, because I cannot sit in the car for more than 2 hours without wanting to get out and stretch. But you're out here driving hours on hours. So tell us, like, where have you been recently? Where have you been off to? Discuss. I know you were at ETH Denver this week. How was ETH Denver?
Oh man, yeah. So I started driving back in 2015. Like, I didn't go to my first crypto event until last year, but I started the driving thing then because I had moved from Texas. So my daughter still lives in Ohio. So I went to Ohio like 4 times a year at least. So I was like averaging 40,000 miles a year before I even started traveling the trips, which is why by the time, I went to Miami and met up with everybody, road tripping to these events became, a thing. Yeah. So the first one I drove to actually was shitcoin. Drove my car to Miami from Dallas to help with the event. And then after that, I ended up driving to LA for a Crypto Jazz event. Hung out with Ken, hung out with you, super dope out there. And then from LA, Ken and I road tripped to Sedona, and then from Sedona to North Carolina, and then from North Carolina to Miami. So that was the first time I went coast to coast. And his hanging out with Ken Bozak, which was awesome. It took us like 3 to 5 days, I think, even with the time that we were staying, we spent the night in Sedona. We went to go see Nate is Love in Carolina. And then I got Ken back to Miami so he could fly to Maui. And then after that, I drove back home. And that's when I got first introduced to NFT the movie. Yes. They ended up bringing me out to Utah, which is where I'm at right now. I went to Utah, met with the crew, got brought into the team. And then after that, I ended up driving across to go see Ken in New York, right before NFT NYC. And that was right after MJ had passed away. I had her with me on all these road trips. From Dallas to LA is when I started taking her on the trips with me. So she drove from me to Dallas to LA. We went from LA, back to the East Coast and then down to Miami. I took her to Utah. Then from Utah, we went to Ohio, and then she ended up passing there. And then that's when I went to New York to go hang out with Ken and see you again for the first time out in New York.
Yes.
And so the NFT NYC, one of my favorite events. Miami Crypto was awesome.
Oh yeah, the first one was awesome too.
I got to drive out there. Driving to New York was cool to be a part of that event. I obviously loved being in Miami. Those events were fire. And even from New York after NFT NYC, Ken and I drove from New York to Miami for the Miami Crypto. And it was cool because the first event I went to was Miami Crypto in April. And then when I went back in November, I went back as a speaker and I got to do a workshop. Then from there, I stayed in Miami for NFT Basel Art Week. Then I went to Puerto Rico. I went to Puerto Rico right after Art Week for Coin Agenda. So dope. First time I got to go to Puerto Rico. Hey. Got a link with, got to meet Brock Pierce, and I got to meet Logan Paul, a few other people. Just, continue this process of building this network that had started, in Miami. And after that, what did I do? Oh, then after that, went back to Miami in January to go to the North American Bitcoin Conference. Went out there with the Bravo team and Lisa and all them. And fast forward to now, I just got back from ETH Denver, which I wasn't really necessarily planning on going 100%. Yeah. I had gotten a ticket just in case, which, by the way, they are free. You just have to apply for them. So I applied for a ticket in January, ended up getting it, and then some things fell through for some other trips that I was supposed to go to. So then I am coming out here because the Meta Builders with Mike Smart sent me out here to represent and the brand that I'm working with him. So I went to ETH Denver, which was phenomenal. Honestly, out of all the events besides our own from Shitcoin, ETH Denver, best one.
Really?
Best one I've been to.
Really?
Yeah, because for one, it was free. And it wasn't just free in a sense. It was like I said, it was free. Like the ticket was free to go. You didn't have to pay to be there. I think you could pay for VIP or something, but the whole event was free. So everything I did for the last 3 days per the event, I didn't pay anything for. The only thing you really have to pay for, and it was, and that's what I was gonna say is it was free, but it wasn't lacking. It wasn't free and you know what, they don't really have stuff because it's free. It was packed full of, just the one building called Castle where the main event was 6 floors. In that building, the first floor, they had the stage set up. They had people making custom shoes, which there was things you could buy, there. You could have custom made shoes for $300, spray painted right then and there.
That's super dope.
So dope. They had little art galleries. Then the next floors were like all the hackathon stuff. So Denver is actually like almost 2 weeks long. It starts in the beginning of February. When I went on the 18th, I went just for the end part of the actual conference. But before that, they started their hackathon. So they're already doing events for like the week prior, or at least the week prior. But that building was set up nicely. You had the hackathon floors, and then the next floor had all the booths, all the swag. So much stuff. So much stuff that like I have a suitcase right now that I had to buy because it's packed full of everything. They had food, they had snacks. They had partnered with like local food vendors. Like all the snacks and drinks they had were like cool organic type stuff, healthy food, healthy snacks, all local brands. There were no big brands.
Really? That's
all
really
local
interesting.
stuff. So cool. And like it was all free. You know, they had coffee drinks, they had kombucha, they had water. Some teams were giving out IPAs, but it was all like local things. You know, they had snacks and like I wouldn't want to say it was all organic, but it was like a good ingredient list where it's like wasn't big branded, wasn't all this high preserved stuff. It was just really good quality stuff, all free, snacks, food. Then they had a room, which was the chill room. And in this room, it was just all black lights and darked out. They had bean bags that you could sit and chill. They were playing, like EDM music. You could just hang out because that's all it was. You sit in that little room and chill. They also had like floor chests. They have bean bags spread up all different places so you could hang out. Then on another floor, they had more of the hackathon stuff. Then on the top floor, they had like a little VR area where you could play VR stuff, another gallery, and then they had an arcade room, free arcade games. There was like some arcade related project there, but you can go in and play these games for free. So that was just the one building. They had another building. They were at the Art Hotel, which is where the registration was, and they had like little speaking rooms there too, or they had a presentation room there. They had a presentation room in Castle. They also had a presentation room in a place called Temple. So dope. I mean, just the setup of it was real nice. And like I said, all this was free. So there was another little spot. Like they had all these little things happening. Temple was so cool. They had booths there. They had, again, more food, drinks, all you name it. You know, they had speakers. And then they also had this thing called the Zen Room, which was in another building. And the Zen Room was awesome. And it's exactly like it sounds. It was very similar to the chill room. It was just a big giant room where it had all these other rooms inside, like doors to other rooms. Yeah. And all the rooms were filled. So they had massages, they had Reiki sessions, they had sound therapy sessions, they had CBDs, they had CBD, food, drinks, things. They had a puppy room.
What?
And yes, and then, so in the main room was just a big open space. Again, it was darked out. They had bean bags. They had air mattresses everywhere, so you can go on there, take a nap. You can chill in your bean bag. They had Zen music playing.
I cannot believe that.
So, and then the rooms had all this different stuff. And one of the rooms was a puppy room. So you go into the room, just had dogs, puppies,
gosh.
Literally puppies. You just go in there, hang out, and play with the puppies.
No
and that was
way.
It. Yeah,
that is the cutest thing.
Cool. And again, all this was free. Like it was so well thought out that they had something where you could, if you wanted to kind of party, you could. They had some cool things going on. Plus, if you needed some time to kind of just like relax and get out of the space, you could. Then they were always providing snacks, waters, things at every one of these places. And like I said, I didn't pay anything until there was things that I got to buy. Oh, they also had deals with these food trucks outside. So whenever you sign up for your registration, they were doing some cool shit. They're giving these tokens called BGT. So you walked in, whenever you get your wristband for the thing, you register your name. They have you sign up your MetaMask, and they have you import this token. And they give you 2 free BGT tokens. I forget what network it was.
Yeah.
And with these BGT tokens, they had partnered with like 8 food trucks. And so you could buy something from every food truck was taking a BGT token. And everybody got 2. And each token was worth like a meal.
Wow.
Or like a dish. Yeah, so you can go and get a pizza, you can go get a burger, you can go get a sandwich, you can go get a gyro, and it was like 1 BGT. So you had money for two foods. Actually, I spent 1, so I still have 1 BGT left. But it was dope. Like I said, they worked these deals out with these vendors. They're like, hey, you can accept BGT, and they didn't. But you can still pay regular money. But it was dope. So all this was included, and like I said, I paid nothing for the ticket because it was free, general admission. Really nice setup, and I ended up getting so much swag again that I had to like get another suitcase and pack it.
I freaking believe
and it was
you.
Like the quality of the stuff was so fantastic. Like cool hoodies, cool stuff. There was this project called Vega that was there. They were giving out these plasma lighters. They were giving out these dope snowboarding bags and skis. Polygon was giving out these backpacks and hoodies and like really cool, like good stuff. You know what I mean? We got I got this dog called a Buffy corn because I was like their mascot. It's a buffalo unicorn.
Oh.
And apparently it was like the doll itself was kind of rare. I got super lucky getting one, but it's like a big plush doll. But it was so cool. Like just the environment, like the fact that it was free. Like I know I keep saying a lot, but like that really says a lot because
it does.
That's kind of like what we showed at Shitcoin was that you could have these events and make them very inclusive. So inclusive that like, yay, you don't charge people to actually be there. You just charge the sponsors and all the people that want to participate. And you use that money to give out free value to the community that wants to be a part of it. And so, with Shitcoin, we had that idea, we did everything up donation. We have $5 at the door because we wanted everybody that could participate to come. So I love that they did that because it was nice and they had a great turnout. And even the setup, like even though these venues were like different parts, kind of similar to NFT NYC, but it wasn't as hectic to deal with. Like I didn't feel like I was missing out on too much stuff because it wasn't chaotic.
Yeah.
It was real easy to simple to get to and deal with all these things. And one thing that I really appreciated a lot about it was a lot of these projects weren't they weren't pitch projects. A lot of the people there were building stuff like layer 2 solutions, especially for Ethereum because it's Ethereum Denver. So a lot of these projects were building layer 2 solutions for Ethereum, doing things so that way you can transact on Ethereum and so it's gasless, so it's quicker. So all these things that are like, they weren't trying to get money to make you money. They were providing you with tools or access or creating things so other people could build off of their stuff. So it was like really cool to see that. I had a great time. Like I said, one of my favorite events, just because the amount of inclusion that like, hey, if you wanted to go, all you had to do was apply for the ticket and get there. And the only thing you had to pay for, I think, was the ski trip. So at the end of it, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, they had a 3-day skiing trip where you could take a bus, you go up to the mountain, you rent a cabin, you pay for your lift and go skiing, snowboarding. That you had to pay for.
Yeah.
That was it. But even that, like the price wasn't ridiculous. It wasn't crazy. Like it was pretty reasonable. If you wanted to go on a ski trip, you could and afford it. So cool. Had such a good time. Met a lot of great people that are building and found a lot of projects that are hiring. Like they need help.
Yeah.
So I posted a live stream on my Facebook to capture as many of those companies that I could because like taking pictures and trying to keep up with it was too hard. So many people looking for help, looking to have paid funded projects that want to pay people like you to do stuff. Everybody that's watching that can do things in the space. Like you don't necessarily have to know too much about blockchain specifically to get a job. You just have to be willing to participate and join. So it was cool seeing that. There was a lot of opportunities to learn, a lot of opportunities for engagement, people there looking to hire. And it was fun, being in Denver too. And so I just left this morning and now I'm in Utah. I'm in Salt Lake City with NFT the movie. We're getting ready to premiere some of our NFT posters pretty soon. So I'm coming to help, get things organized. Heidi, Josh, Jeff, everybody that's been on the team has been working really hard to get to this beginning point. They've been doing phenomenally. So I'm super stoked to be a part of the team. And so I'm out here till the end of the month and getting ready for our NFT stuff.
That's amazing. I'm so excited for you and NFT the movie. Like, NFT the movie is so cool. The whole crew is so cool. So shout out to NFT the movie. I hope to see the crew again soon. But Miggy, like, we've been here for almost an hour. Well, pretty much an hour. And this was, like, so amazing, so informative. And, like, I feel like, guys, in the chat, like, drop 100 emoji if you're feeling Miggy's vibe, if you're feeling Miggy's zest, because he just, like, poured his whole heart out on this stream, and I very much appreciate it. Like, I cannot believe, like, how much I learned about you today, and I've spent, like, hours and days with you, and like I feel like you know, like you really just like opened up a whole other side, and I think that, you know, it's really cool to learn about like the things you've been through and how it got you to today, because I really feel like you're successful now, but I feel like you're really gonna go so far because you have that drive. And you have the smarts, man. Like, you know what just popped in my head? I don't know, Miggy, if you're on TikTok, but like, you know, like The Rock, like it's about drive, it's about power. Like, and that just playing in my head, guys. If you're familiar with that sound, play that in your head right now, because that's literally Miggy. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I see we have a few more new people in the chat. We have a Chemo for Crypto. We have a few other people. Chain Guys. Hi, Chain Guys. Thank you to everybody. Chain Guys are cool, man. Guys, if you have not, check out Ajay and I's new collab. There has already been 9 and 8 sold. If you have bought this NFT drop, make sure to purchase both if you can, because you will qualify for a free airdrop. Just that means a free NFT being plopped in your wallet for having both of them sitting in your inventory. So definitely purchase both of those if you could, and get ready for Spidey Teen. She's coming to town. She's coming to save us all. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. Miggy, where can everybody find you?
No, you're awesome. I appreciate you letting me be here. I mean, it's definitely been a journey, and I appreciate, you know, everybody I've been able to connect with and, you know, really build things with. I love the response of the community that I've been involved with, and, you know, the participation that I've seen, and just the amount of people that really care. Just because, like, my introduction to the space, you know, was, I mean, I don't even really bring it up, but it was a difficult one. You know, like when I first got involved with NFTs and got into Ken's community, so I got my first NFT last February 14th or 15th. And then on February 16th, my 18-year-old nephew passed away. Oh my God. And it was like right when I first started this. Yeah. So like, honestly, I would have never gotten involved like this. I would have probably be doing this if he hadn't passed. Because when he passed away, you know, like I had to focus on something. Because it was very difficult for my sister and my family. You know, like I'd been there with them. You know, I changed his diapers, and, you know, again, my sister and I were very close. So having to deal with that, you know, we just crossed this year of his passing, and it's been very hard. And that is what kind of pushed me to really dive into the community, because I had to, you know, I needed something to just really work towards, especially because I knew like my sisters were looking up to me. And I know that if I could be okay and continue to push forward, that they would too. And so the community that I was in with NFTs was what I dove into. Started staying in the Telegram chats 24/7, helping everybody I could in Ken's chat, and then geared up and started making my own NFTs, which NJ was one of those first ones, and just started getting involved. Like I just kept myself busy for months, you know. Then I got to the end of April event, and that was like really the big driving force behind it was that like I just had to do something, and not just something, is just I had to do something to better my life, because for all of us in our family, like the day he passed, like our lives had changed, you know, and there was nothing we could do to go back. There's nothing, like everything changed that day for me, and I knew I couldn't go back, and so the only way to go was forward and to build off of that. So I used like all that grief to really just push this and drive it. Like I would have never done it, you know, if you had not passed away. So I appreciate him, you know, like so much, because it got me so far, you know, like in this last like 9 months, I've done so much, and being able to connect with cool people like you, the project, you know, just really get to be a part of something that is so much more beyond myself, that it's such a good feeling that I know no matter what happens, that I've helped people have helped me. I've made great connections. I have a lot of great friends, and people that I care about and that I know care about me, and that even if I'm not here to be a part of it, that will continue on and grow. And so it's just cool to be a part of all that, and to have people like you doing stuff like this to really help grow that space, you know, because all the people we know, like, you know, I love them all. Like it's been great, you know, like it's such a thriving community of just people going from not knowing each other to becoming friends to becoming family. And it's such a great time to be a part of it.
Miggy, I'm honestly getting emotional just like listening to you, and like I like I have so much love for you, man. Like, and everybody in the chat is like so excited, is so happy for you. Like I wish you could see these comments. I don't know if you're in the chat looking right now, but like, wow. You've been through so much, and like you're doing so well, and like everybody appreciates you, like 100%. Like Randy said, you're fam. Like you're 100% fam. And yeah, like you. Wow, like I don't even know what to say at this point, because like I respect you so much. Like you've had such a great story. Like the hearts in the chat, like yeah, I'm getting emotional, man. Like there's hearts in here. Like throw hearts for Mig. You're a strong individual. You've gone through a lot, but you're gonna do such good things. And like you said, like you're gonna, don't even think about like what you said before, like not being here. Like you're gonna be here. You're gonna do great things. You're gonna be here. You're doing great things already. Just keep doing you, man. Like keep being Miggy. Like, you know, like don't get distracted with anything else. Like stay with, like be you, and focus on you, man, because like you're so amazing, and just building yourself and helping other people, like that's the way. Like that's 100% the way. I guys in the chat, I really hope you guys saw the link. I'm gonna put it one more time to Miggy's Twitter. Please give him a follow. I also put the link to his YouTube channel. Both of these links are in the live chat and in the description of the video if you want to head over after. But thank you guys so much for all the love. Thank you, Miggy, for being here. I don't think we have 33 likes. I asked for 35. Oh, hi, Tom Allen. I didn't get to say hi to you before. I'm sorry. Hi, Tom. We have 33 likes. We don't have 35, but you know what? That's okay. I'm sure, like, you know, after the video ends, we will get some people that were like, maybe I'll like it. Maybe I vibed with the show. So here's one last free NFT before we head out. Shout out to the Bro for also donating a few NFTs. I see you in here in the QR chat. So thank you. Here's one last NFT. Scan it, get zesty with it. And you know, right now is the time to get up. Everybody, I know you're at home. I know you're like, oh, Miss Teen, she's crazy. What is she telling me right now? I'm telling you to stand up and get your dancing shoes on, because the Miss Teen Crypto theme song is about to come on. Yes, it is. So get ready. You're going to hear, good morning, Crypto Twitter. It's Miss Teen Crypto. Like, you got this. We're about to dance. We're about to vibe. Thank you so much, Miggy. You're amazing. Much love. Much love to the community. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I hope I could come back for another one this week. But if not, I'm always here next week. I'm here always. So subscribe, smash the like, share out this stream if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as always, don't forget to stay zesty. Thank you, everyone. Peace. Let's go.
Stay zesty, guys.
Yes.
Good morning, crypto Twitter, it's Miss Teen Crypto, spreading crypto with Dr. showing its benefits.